Hi, I'm Rob, and in this Gems of War video, I'm going to tell you what's good and bad in the Soulforge. I'm going to show you a cool Journey event team and Underspire team as well. Let's start off with the weekly event and take a look at the troop today. And it's Coup the Brave. Give magic +1 life and attack to an ally if the ally is a Tauros. Double the effect. So that's actually pretty decent. And a Tauros team, that is going to be a good little spell there. Reduce damage from skulls by 20%, and impervious are pretty useful traits as well, so not bad at all. I'm going to give that a pretty solid, I think, toying between 6 and 7 out of 10. The fact it uses red is going to mana block a lot of the other Tauros troops, making it reliant on blue to get charged up most of the time. But I'm going to give it a benefit of the doubt and say that is a pretty solid 7 out of 10 for you. As ever, get it all the way to mythic level if you can spare the glory. Thank you very much. Anyway, a friend of mine put a letter through my letterbox the other day, and it said, "My girlfriend Lorraine dumped me when she found out I was also seeing Claire Lee." I felt a bit upset, so I thought I'd better go around and see him. I saw him today, and he said, "I can see clearly now. Lorraine is gone." Do you see? I can see clearly now, Lorraine is gone. Do you see? Anyway, let's crack on with the Soulforge. Let's go in there. Let's take a look after that. Amazing start to the video. Maybe. Right, anyway, Stone Splitter. Deals magic-based damage to an enemy boosted by red allies and Tauros allies. Don't get it from here, get it from the shop in Journey, because you're going to want to get some tiers anyway to do that event, and you'll pick up Stone Splitter that way and save spending your hard-earned diamonds and other resources as well. So definitely get that from the Journey shop instead. I'm not going over all these ones that are here all the time. They're in my Soulforge extra video. And there'll be a link to that in the description below. But this is pretty much an essential weapon straight away. Rage Reaver. Deal magic-based splash damage to an enemy. Create 4 red gems boosted by Tauros allies. Does use blue and brown, but in a 2x Frosty team, you can have this with a couple of Frosty, for example. You can create loads of red gems, get those Tauros charged up, those Frosty, and do actually stacks of damage while getting insane boosts at the same time. Very, very good weapon indeed, Rage Reaver. Practically essential. Primal Axe. Deal damage to an enemy boosted by Wild Plains allies, then create a mix of 6 green and red gems for each Wild Plains ally. Uses yellow and brown to get charged up, creates a lot of green and red, so make sure those Wild Plains allies, at least a couple of them, use green or red. Otherwise you're generating that mana for nothing, and you don't want to generate it for nothing, you want to generate it for good stuff. Doomed Maul. Deal magic-based heavy splash damage to an enemy with a +4 per temporary level boost. Stun all red enemies, cleanse all red allies, explode 4 gems. If the enemy has a doom, explode 3 more. So quite a lot going on with that spell, but it's a good one. The damage can be significant. The stun is really good versus an all red team. It's going to cleanse all your red allies, explode gems. Yeah, very nice. The Doomed them all. Staff of the Wild. Remove all brown gems. Deal magic-based damage to an enemy, boosted by gems removed. If the enemy is from Wild Plains, or if the battle is in Wild Plains, deal double damage. So this is kind of the anti-Wild Plains weapon in a way. Brown is one of the weapons one of the colours they'll like the most. By taking them away, you're making it harder for them to get charged up. So a bit situational, but still not bad given the right situation. Horn Cleaver. Deal damage to an enemy boosted by Tauros allies. Then create a mix of 6 green and brown gems for each Tauros ally. Uses blue and red. Creates a lot of green and brown. So a bit like the other weapon, make sure you got at least a couple of Tauros allies in your team using green and or brown to benefit from that juicy mana. Wild Cleaver. Explode magic +1 green gems. Grant a random status effect to all Wild Plains allies. Then summon a Wild Plains troop. So a nice explodey summony weapon. Mana gen, status effects. Really good. And a summon. Do like them weapons a lot. Wand of Stars. If you don't have it, just get it. It's the best weapon in the game. Create 6 elemental stars and bless all allies. Or create 7 umbral stars and curse all enemies. Not only great for just really good mana gen most of the time, it can backfire, but not often. And then the Bless or the Curse, really good at the same time, depending upon who you're fighting. And lastly, we have Stormguard's Hammer. Choose one. Create 8 blue lightning gems and deal magic +3 splash damage to an enemy, or create 8 yellow lightning gems and deal the same amount of splash damage to an enemy. So yeah, not really used that weapon a lot, but it could be good in certain teams, especially with that potential for those creation of the blue or yellow gems. But yeah, some decent... Oh, we've got another one. Thought that was the last one, but there's another one hiding at the bottom. The Doom Spade. Deal magic-based damage to the first 2 enemies with a +2 per tempering level boost. Create 2 brown gems for each brown ally and enemy. If the enemy has a Doom, gain a random status effect. So very good at generating brown, especially against an all-brown enemy team. And if you're using a all-brown team as well, that is going to create so much mana, it's just ridiculous. So yeah, very good for generating brown against enemies that use brown as well in particular. So yeah, quite a few very good weapons here today. That's almost essential if you play PvP and the enemies are using all brown, for example. You can just have a real fun time with that. Wonder Stars, always on the essential list if you've got the resources. That's not bad, but not completely essential, I suppose. Rage Reaver though, very good. I'd definitely get that. So yeah, some really nice weapons there today. Now let's move on to the troops. Always take a look through these summoning stones, see if there's anybody that you're missing, and have a roll of the dice, see if you get lucky with those summoning stones and see if you pick them up. Looking for things like goblins here. Goblins always have an extra turn, which is really good, and so Snothelm is a very good goblin indeed. Do like it a lot. And anybody that starts with full mana, which is empowered, they're very good as well. And anybody that's good in general, like Sunbird, very good troop. Deal magic-based scatter damage boosted by its life, die and rise from the ashes. Really handy troop, that one. Still see that Sunbird in quite a lot of teams, even today when many more troops have been released after. Quite a lot of troops get released and they get put on the back burner or forgotten about like completely. But others are just kind of just there all the time and always handy in certain teams. Well, let's take a look at the mythics now. Start at the bottom one, work our way up. Dragon Lord Luther, gone over that in a few times on different videos, but most people have probably got that one already. And the first of the ones that are here on rotation is the Elder Dragon. The first one, deal magic +3 damage to all enemies, create 9 cursed gems boosted by cursed enemies. So basic damage to all, but creation of 9 cursed gems as a basic amount boosted by cursed enemies is really good. Cursed gems are brown. They make a brown match with the added effect of giving the enemy curse at the same time. And because it uses brown, it can actually charge itself up and do it again, which is really cool. And Loss of Sanity works really well with that spell because it can create lots of 4 matches, which when you do that, eliminate 3 magic from all enemies when matching 4 or more gems, can slowly but surely reduce the power of the enemy. Very good indeed. Do like the Elder Dragon. Ruby Wrath is the dragon on rotation. It's a gem dragon, this one. So on the path to getting Stellarix, if this is the only dragon you're missing, for example, I personally would rather spend the extra Dragonite guaranteeing it rather than getting another bunch of duplicates maybe. But each to their own, it's kind of a player's choice. If you're missing more than 1 dragon on your path to getting Stellarix, I'd say maybe it was not really worth the extra Dragonite. But some people may say, I'd still rather guarantee it. So it's definitely a player's choice on that one. Next mythic we have is Queen of Sin. Deal magic-based true damage to the first 2 enemies, summon Wrath or Lust, then bless all daemon allies. Succumb, enemies lose 4 from a random skill when an ally casts a spell and reduce damage from spells by 25%. And gain 1 magic when an ally casts a spell. Is an okay set of traits, but yeah, she's nothing special these days, but that summon can come in handy in certain teams. Doomclaw, more luck than anything with this one. Does basic damage to an enemy boosted by enraged allies with separate 25% chances to devour the next enemy above and below. Now when you get lucky with that, and it gets both of those devoured, or at least one really good one, then it can be really powerful. But other times you feel like, hang on, I've cast this so many times now and that 25% chance has not come in, mate, you are really annoying and a bit rubbish. But yeah, but it's good that it can't be devoured himself, and does enrage a random ally on 4 or 5 gem matches. But yeah, Doomclaw, more luck than anything. Queen Aurora. I don't see her in many teams, but it's not a bad troop. This is one of the troops that I would say is really handy when you've got one of those teams where the first 3 troops in your team are the main bread and butter of what your team does, and the last slot is kind of vacant. Then Queen Aurora is the kind of troop that's really good for that, a bit like the Possessed King. It gives all other allies barrier and magic +1 life, then create 10 gems of a chosen colour. So if there's a lot of a particular colour on the board, then by creating 10 more, you've got a really good chance of getting some good mana back and potentially a 4 match. But that Rainbow Link, really good as well, gain a bonus mana from all gem matches. That is surprisingly effective. That is really good. Do like Rainbow Link. And that is that for the mythics. Let's go over the legendaries ever so quickly. Shadow Dragon, poison all enemies, deal magic +1 true damage to a random enemy, then transform all yellow gems to purple to boost the effect. Gain 1 attack when matching purple, which is what you do to charge it up. Chief Stronghorn, pull an enemy to first place, deal magic +1 damage to them, boosted by my attack, life, and armor. So can be pretty damaging, especially when you put them to first place as well, because then you've softened them up if they're not dead already, and you can finish them off with skull hits and other attacks. And we have Carmina. Create 4 skulls, 4 Doom Skulls, and 4 Uber Doom Skulls, so 12 skulls altogether. If an enemy is death marked, create 1 more of each skull. So she can be absolutely lethal, especially if an enemy is death marked. And there's a way of doing that with certain classes. Certain classes are going to death mark an enemy right at the start of battle, so you can actually be ready to cast that straight away. And death mark an enemy when an enemy dies is really cool, because if you kill them via her spell, then basically she can be ready to cause obliteration again really quickly in the correct team. So she can be quite a lot of fun. Hang on, we've missed someone there. Who's the last one? Ah, there he is. First Claw Mahez. Eliminate magic +1 attack and armor from the first 2 enemies, boosted by my attack, and give 3 to 8 mana to all other allies. So who gets my mythic of the week? Well, I'm not going to beat about the bush. The other ones are good to okay. Doomclaw's majorly based on luck more than anything. Queen of Sin's alright, but nothing special. And Queen Aurora, rather specialist, kind of backup mythic, not something you're going to be able to team around, probably. So that leaves basically the Elder Dragon as my mythic of the week. Very good. Can cause consistent damage with that damage to all enemies, and the creation of those cursed gems. Curse can be really effective as well against certain teams, and the fact it uses brown and can self-charge and do it again is really good, and loss of sanity rather fun at the same time. So Elder Dragon, my mythic of the week. Now onto the Journey team. Now, really important in Journey, you must use the Event Captain to get that ×2 magic and get that ×2 to ×3 score, which is basically your miles. So you must use that troop, and you get that by going to the shop and buying up to tier 2 as an absolute minimum. Tier 1, you get the really cool Potion of Enchantment, enchant all allies at the start of battle for this event only. And at tier 2, you pick up a Potion of Explosion as well. Exploding gems at the start gives us a nice fast start. And that's where you pick up Red Reaver at the same time, absolutely guaranteed. Now you do want to get this to mythic level if you can, to pick up that extra damage, as well as that Pathfinder trait. Gain 2 to 3 times miles in my Journey event based on my ascensions. You can either stop here at tier 2 and back out and then add a couple of Orbs of Ascension, and then you'll get that to mythic level. The other way to do it is to buy more and more tiers to guarantee you get enough copies of it that way. Up to you. If you're going to go a long way in the event, you may as well get it by buying various tiers, because there's various bonuses to that. At tier 3, you pick up another weapon, Stone Splitter. Deals magic based damage to an enemy, boosted by red allies and Tauros allies. So yeah, player's choice on that. But let's take a look at this team I'm going to use for this. I'm going to go for Doomed Impaler, Red Reaver, and 2 times Ferocity. Ferocity, really good. Gives 4 to all skills on all Tauros allies when matching 4 or more gems. So with 2 of these, that is going to give 8 to all skills on all Tauros allies when matching 4 or more gems. So when we start looping with this team, all those 4 matches, we're going to get non-stop mega boosts to all our skills. As well as that, we can do double damage versus red as well. The spell is really cool. Deal magic +3 damage to an enemy and a random enemy boosted by my attack, life and armor. If the enemy uses red mana, deal double damage. So very, very damaging. But little word of warning, don't cast it on the early games when there's red enemies there and there's still going to be other enemies left, because you don't want to actually kill the red enemies, because it actually reduces the effectiveness of things like our weapon, which does damage to the first 2 enemies with a +2 per temporary level boost, then creates 2 red gems for each red ally and enemy, which is why you don't want to kill the red enemies always straight away. If the enemy has a doom, gain a random status effect. So really, really effective weapon. If you don't have this one, the Ruby Macaque or the Wonder Stars will do a really, really good job instead. But this is a really nice weapon for the loop effect, and the more red enemies we have, actually the better it gets. Will be actually more effective than Red Reaver regarding mana gen, who does damage to an enemy. Remember, you're going to double that damage because you get the bonus from this, then create 2 red gems boosted by Tauros allies. So basically the key to this is get these 2 charged up, look out for 4 matches, because we're going to get those lovely boosts from that, and then cast whichever one of these gives the most red when you cast it. Simple as that. The banner for this one I'm going for is a dragon banner, +2 red, +1 yellow, -1 brown, and we'll be in a shaman class to make sure we get the most of all those bonuses. All Tauros start with 50% mana. All Tauros gain 2 life. We can have things like ferocity, counter attack, root trap, really handy to start with the first enemy entangled, blood and glory. Gonna have to just have that, because don't want a light storm, which is yellow, and you don't want a green leaf storm either. So just have that one there. And why did I press that button? I don't know. But we can have Armor of Light as well, Bloodthirsty, and Bull General. As ever with Journey, as things get tougher, it may be wise to switch to Elementalist class. Yes, it does reduce the effectiveness of Ferocity on your top troop, but much better to have those burn, freeze, stuns, and entangles on all those 4 matches, and keep yourself safe from all those hideous powerful skull matches on the much later levels, then just die because you've got a few unlucky skull hits against you. So Elementalist class, a good option later on as well, because you're going to get the nice rock solid barrier as well when collecting a brown. But let's jump into the battles. Right, I've jumped forward a few battles because basically the super early ones aren't really worth showing, but it's really important to pay attention whether it's best to cast Red Reaver or the Doomed Impaler or not, based on how many red enemies you got, because the Doomed Impaler will give a boost on red gems per red ally and enemy. So the more red enemies, the more red it's going to create, where Red Reaver is a set amount. Basically it creates 2 red gems boosted by Tauros allies. So let's jump into this battle. Looking for red, obviously, to get the troops fired up. Can you get that pushing of explosion at the beginning? So right now we've got a +10 boost on the Doomed Impaler because of that single red enemy. And this one here, our Pathfinder, only does +8. So all the while there's at least 1 red enemy on the opposing team, we are better off casting the Doomed Impaler. And when we collect this, we're going to get a boost because of Ferocity. That lovely give 4 to all skills on all Tauros allies when matching 4 or more gems. So right now we've got 67 damage to the first 2 enemies. Let's grab that. We'll grab that as well because it is there. We'll grab that because it is there. Oh, well, we may as well keep on doing it, being as though it's been kind to us. But the point is, we've already gone up now to 99 damage to the first 2 enemies while looping like that at the same time, with that boost at the same time, which is really, really cool. So we can do this damage. Let's bash 2 of them out of it. Loads of red generated. Didn't get the loop that time, but we're going to do massive damage here to get the ×2 magic bonus, of course, and finish them off. And even Ferocity can chip in with some significant damage if there's red enemies there as well. But do bear in mind with Ferocity that because it does that extra damage versus red enemies, when you take one of them out, you're effectively reducing the effectiveness of Doomed Impaler. So do be wary of that. So we've got 2 red enemies now, and this is going to give us even more red from our Doomed Impaler. I'd still rather keep the loop in with the Doomed Impaler actually, rather than cast Ferocity on those red enemies, because you really don't do that double damage. But like I say, when you take out the red enemies, you are reducing the effectiveness of Doomed Impaler. So we've got a +10 boost at the moment, but got no red matches right now, so we'll take that instead. Sometimes our hand is forced, so we'll do whatever. So always take out the non-red enemies first. Always good to take out the Valraven if you can. Get those extra sigils in the bag. Take a look around for 4 matches. Really important. Make sure you get those boosts from Ferocity to the rest of our team. Let's do that damage on them. Let's get that nice handy boost. Didn't loop, but it's okay because there's plenty of options for red here. And let us finish them off. Got this extra damage here. 164 damage. Humongous. It will vary upon your magic level. But really important to make sure you gather all those 4 matches from Ferocity to get those nice boosts. So we've got 3 red enemies here. Take a look at how many red we're going to generate now from this team. Really, really cool. Alright, so now we're going to generate 14. The boost is plus 14. That's nuts. So much red it is just obscene. And only 8 from this. So we're always going to cast that Doomed Impaler if we can. But let's collect for the other troop while there's no red on the board. So this generates a red. Again, we'll attack somebody that's not red. Keep that boost on the Doomed Impaler high if we can. Plus 8. This is going to go down if we kill those red enemies now. Obviously, as the amount of red enemies diminishes, it affects the loop chance. Again, take a quick look around for any 4 matches. Got to take out somebody now that's red, but we'll take out the one that's got the most mana. So look, now we've gone down to plus 12, look. So yeah, but it doesn't matter because they are pretty much going to be dead. Well, let's just show a couple of more battles. Working really, really well so far. Got to be really wary of skulls though. Now, on the later levels, when things get really tough, when the enemy hits really, really super hard with skulls, it may be worth changing to Elementalist class. I mean, your Ferocities will be slightly less effective for that, and they're giving the skills to all Tauros allies because you're going to be an Elemental, not a Tauros on the top troop. But basically, you will get the stun, freeze, burn, and entangle on the enemy when matching those 4 matches, which is going to make you a lot safer on those much more difficult later levels. So what we got here? Let's get some yellow. We'll grab some of that. Always get the 4 matches. Really, really good for boosting up your ferocity. Let's do some significant damage to someone. Want to leave the red enemies there for now. We can finish them off later. There's the loop. May as well do that, just a 4 match, and we get the death and the damage at the same time. See, this is where you can actually use your ferocity if there's 2 red enemies left. They're going to die anyway, so that double damage really going to be effective on those red enemies when there's only a couple left. Because we didn't need the loop. Just make sure that they're not going to have some sort of cheeky summon afterwards, because if they are, then obviously you want to cast one of the other troops to get the loop going at the same time. And what we got here? Boost of plus 14. Lots of red enemies. Boost of only plus 8. It's the weapon all day long. All that red. Happy days. And again. It's going to loop for fun, this team, against all those red enemies. Oh, didn't work that way. So what we got? Hang on. Let's have a look. 30. Oh, might as well do ferocity. Finish them both off. Right, that'll do for that. That's a pretty fun, effective team, but you can switch to Elementalist team, the Elementalist class, later on to make it a bit safer. All those 4 matches will give you burn, stun, freeze, and entangle at the slight cost of not getting the main benefits out of Ferocity anymore, but better safe than dead. But that is an option to change that to Elementalist class later on if you so desire. But there it is. There's the team for Journey. Right, on to Underspire. Right, a couple of really good ways to go about this today. We're going to show this with Rage, Reaver, Mekator, Minogor, and Ku the Brave, the troop we can get from the Glory Shop at the moment. Gives life and attack, magic-based boost to an ally, and if the ally is a Tauros, double the effect. So lots of life and attack. On a troop like a Minogor, which does damage to an enemy boosted by attack, life, and armor, that's going to be a massive boost and just like obliterate the enemy. Like lots of damage from that. The boost ratio is low, but it is a boost and it should be still pretty effective. But if you've got the troops, certainly worth swapping out something like that for Ketrus the Bull, splash damage to an enemy boosted by my attack, life and armor. Or King Stormguard, doing damage to the first 2 enemies boosted again by attack, life and armor. So that boost in attack and life from Ku the Brave is going to be really effective for troops like that. In the early stages though, we can have a Mechatol to get things done even quicker, dealing splash damage to an enemy boosted by its armor with independent 30% chances to silence each affected enemy at the same time. Right, so Rage Reaver, going to be really good for this. Dealing splash damage again to an enemy boosted by red gems, boosted by Tauros allies. We're going to start with 50% mana. You can have stuff like Ferocity, Counterattack, Root Trap, Armor of Light, Bloodthirsty, and Bull General. So yeah, let's jump into a battle or two. Oh, I didn't show the banner. I'll show that in a minute. Alright, so what have we got apart from not a lot of red? We do that to get a bash at the same time. That's got Mechatol up. Splash damage, hit the one in the middle. Kaboosh! Kaboosh, I'm out of there. Job is done. Let's just show a couple more. The banner, I was going to show the banner, wasn't I? So yes, the banner for this was the Kraken banner. +2 brown, +1 blue, -1 purple. Good to get that weapon up nice and sharpish. Get all that red going on, charge up the team. If you use Ketrus the Bull or King Stormguard, it's still going to work really well because basically with that weapon charged, you're going to generate stacks of red, get them charged up nice and quick. Let's do that now. Let's bash them. Ooh, crikey, that was unlucky on the red. That's where you can go sometimes though, but Mechatol still got up. No worries at all. Now on to the next. Like I say, when Mechatol starts to become a little bit less effective, it's when you want to start casting your Ku the Brave on your troops to get the boost going. Oops, wrong one. Over there. Yeah, let's just do this first of all. Let's get him zapped out of it. Oh, I should have taken that skull hit if that was there then. That was a bit of a mistake because could have then done the splash damage next round and finished them off. I was daydreaming then out of the window, thinking what a murky, dirky day it is today. But it is December. Just. There you go though. It's got the weapon up nice and quick. Splash damage, all that boost, absolutely awesome stuff. And a finish off. Infernus' Imp is going to have to wait. Right, let's just do one more against the Doom of Stone. Ooh, got some nice yellow there straight away. That's going to get Mechatol up immediately. Splash damage. 3 lots of troops get damaged absolutely straight away. Let's see if we can get that weapon going. Or get a random skull hit and do it that way. Anyway, there's the video, there's the teams. If you enjoyed it, it'd be really cool if you press that like and subscribe button. It really does help. But most of all, thanks for watching. Catch you again in the next one. Bye for now.